So these days with Apple Silicon coming out, a lot of people keep asking questions of, hey, can I run my normal Linux distro or my normal software on my Apple Silicon? And the short answer is no, because it uses its own ARM-based processors that is incompatible with x86 and x32 or x86, x64. However, technically speaking, using a piece of software called UTM, you can run different software on your Apple Silicon Mac. So, for example, you can run ARM32, MIPS, PPC, RISC-V, and your Mac will literally run anything. Now, it's important to realize that there's a difference between something being virtualized and something being emulated. So what I'm going to do today is install a normal version of Linux Mint 21 using UTM, and of course Mint doesn't have a ARM version available, and I'm going to walk you through how you can do it. Of course, it's going to be a little bit slower because the processor has to do some translations. But let's take it away. So I've got UTM already open. I've got a couple of previous virtual machines I've been playing with on the side, but we're going to go File and New. And we're not going to virtualize. Right, virtualize would be anything that is Apple Silicon or ARM64 native. In this case, we're going to emulate, which means it basically has to emulate other CPU architectures. In this case, x86, x64. So let's go emulate. We're going to emulate a Linux distro. I'm just going to get the Linux distro quickly, which of course is Linux Mint 21, choosing the XFCE 64-bit. Architecture or the process I wanted to emulate, of course, is x86 64. I'm going to give this virtual machine 8 gigs of memory. I'm going to give it 8 cores. Not going to enable hardware GPL or GL, and 64 gig for the drive. I'm going to say continue and save, and just start it up here. Called it Linux, could have renamed it, and hit the play button. And you'll see here, I'm going to say start it up normally, and it's going to take some time. Often people ask, and I've seen this online on different forums, is this feasible to run your virtual machines like this? And you'll see it is a bit slower for my normal x86, x64 reviews. I won't do them this way. I'm not doing them this way. I'll still do it on normal traditional Intel architecture, just because it's a lot quicker. But this is an alternative if you don't have another machine. But I wouldn't suggest it for everyday usage. You're just going to get poor performance. Interestingly enough as well, and I'll do it in another video, show you how you can emulate macOS 9.2.1 as well as ReactOS, and of course this is based on QEMU or QEMU, which has been around for decades and has been very popular, especially in the Linux world. And before anyone asks, no, you won't use this to play games. Your performance is going to be incredibly slow, and of course there's no proper OpenGL or DirectX emulation. So if you're going to want to run Windows on your Apple Silicon, you're going to have to use Parallels 18 and use Windows for ARM there. And I would suggest for Linux as well, use a ARM version of Linux, which I'll show you later how well that works. Okay, at the moment, here we've got, that was relatively quite quick. We've got Linux Mint over here, and all pretty loads pretty quickly. Again, we've had to give this quite a lot of resources, but I think let's be fair and do it and install. So I'm going to double click on installation media, and we wait a few seconds. So as you can see there with the spinning wheel, doing it like this takes its time. I could edit the video, and I'll obviously do some edits a little bit later on, but I just want you to see in real time how long it does actually take for some of these things to load. I have found in previous testing, once everything's up and running, it generally seems to go a little bit faster, especially once it's been installed and all the initial prompts have run. Then I found it's okay-ish and semi-usable, but again, I wouldn't do this every day, and I wouldn't do reviews on this all the time. Well, it'll be interesting to see how different distros perform. And as you can see here, it's still spinning. Last time I tried it, it took me about 2 minutes, and here we go. It's loading the install screen. Again, taking so long because it's busy emulating. Once this loads, it should be pretty quickish. Okay, that was actually pretty decent, so I'm going to go continue. Continue. And I guess in case anyone asks, I'm doing this on a M2 MacBook 16-inch with 32 gigs of memory on my workstation. Install multimedia codecs. Yeah, let's select that option. See, it's busy looking for something to drivers in the background, so I give that a few moments there. Raise and install. Yeah, that's fine. We're not going to do any fancy partitioning, so there's no reason to. We're going to write the changes to the disk. Can I say continue? You can immediately see it is slower than if it was more native. LA is fine. Okay, and my name, of course. Gosh. Cat froze there. Pick a really strong password. And yeah, just continue. And yeah, of course it's going to do the normal traditional Linux Mint install. Of course there's a slideshow if we really want to look at it. You can see it lags a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pause, and I'm going to come back once this has been installed. And we're back, and it's only taken about almost 30 minutes later. So right now I'm going to restart now, and we can see how long it takes for this to come back up. Yeah, I have tested this with 1 or 2 other distros before, and I've noticed it about 30 minutes seems to be the average time for something to start back up while being emulated. I just chose Mint for the hell of it. Pressing enter there. And I just need to quickly remove it from the disk. So let's just close that quickly. And then go to the bottom and say clear. And now start it up again. And now it will boot correctly instead of booting from the ISO image. Let's give this a few seconds to start up. And there's the regular Mint logo. And shouldn't take longer than about 30 seconds to get where we need to get it. And okay, something's definitely happening at least. Again, today recording this video has reminded me why it's not recommended to run something like this way in your live system or for regular use. I think any user that had to wait this long would possibly not enjoy it, that's for sure. Okay, at least here the normal defaults are starting up, and here comes the GUI any moment. I must admit, as I mentioned before, it does seem to be a lot quicker once it's finally installed, thankfully. Otherwise we would wait for ages. That itself wasn't too long. Very secure password typed in, and now we wait for this to fully load the screen. Again, not doing too much editing here of the times, because I know people generally want a feel for how long it takes, and if you get really bored you can just forward it on the YouTube video. Okay, there's our mouse cursor already. You can see it's loading everything. I chose XFCE because it's the most lightweight of the desktops that Mint offers, so should be quick enough. And already can see there's a couple of updates available, but we're not going to do any of that. We're just going to do just general checking out how fast everything goes. So here the normal Mint startup. Let's go. This is all pretty quick here. Firewall, software manager, desktop colors, day night theme. Problem is clicking these things yet, it hasn't really loaded. There we go. That took a few seconds to load the dark theme there. And back to light because I clicked it too much. Let me click it again and wait. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to close the screen here and check the menu. So that's pretty decent and quick. So if I go Task Manager, small app, loads pretty quickly. And only using about a gig of memory, which is alright. Let's go and like something like calculator. Okay, that's taking a few seconds, but really pretty decent because it has loaded. I'm going to try something a little bit heavier. So let's try transmission. And while we take a few seconds for that to load, you can definitely see that it's almost usable using a distro like this once it's installed. I say almost because let's say I want to try something heavier like LibreOffice Calc. So now we click and we wait. And we wait. And of course, because it's a heavy program, it's going to take a bit longer. But that was actually not too long. Surprising, actually. And of course, all the normal stuff. Help about LibreOffice loads pretty quickly. See, once the main application, whatever you're busy with, is loaded, then you don't have to wait too long, which is actually pretty nice, I must say. So let's close LibreOffice. So normal settings. So even if we were to just, let's say we wanted to customize this a little bit. So I right click here, go desktop settings, and you can see small things here like waiting for it to show the different wallpapers, which Just takes a while, so let's choose this. That looks pretty nice. Okay, that took a few seconds. I've got menus, got icons. Okay, that's fine. So let's say software manager. See how long that takes to load. Oh, it's actually pretty quick. Of course, generating the cache might take a few seconds longer. Clicking on about. It's pretty much all there. Oh, I'm impressed. Must admit, this is definitely running better than I expected it to. So I'll wait for that to load. Let's say at the bottom, welcome to the update manager. So I've clicked on it. Oh, that was pretty quick. Wow, okay. And different software update options. That's busy processing. So now on the one, generating cache. Still the other one, busy searching for updates. And even a slight delay just dragging the windows. Again, this is because this is being emulated, or x86, x64 processor emulated. Okay, so you can see definitely not ideal, taking some time. I'm going to close them, we might wait forever, and I'm sure someone out there is wondering, why haven't I started Firefox yet? I'm going to get there. See the terminal loaded pretty quickly. Just happy about. So thankfully there's that. Cool, so not really doing anything there. And now I'll let Firefox, and this is why I waited for last. Because not only do you wait for the browser to start, it can be pretty slow. Again, it's a big application. Okay, it's the first time. Just wait. Just close the second tab. You don't need it. And of course the first run process. And the tab crashed. Could also be what I did earlier. So close tab. Brilliant. And I closed Firefox. Lovely. Okay, so reopen it again. And still waiting. So it's running in the background. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, probably the process hasn't had time to exit properly. So I'm not gonna bore you. Earlier I did get Firefox to load in a test run I did, and some websites just do not work at all. So let's say I try to go to Wikipedia. Right. I have to make sure I do nothing else on the machine at all. And it hopefully loads. Let's just close this here. That says choose what to show. Well, the link will eventually load. Earlier I tried going to a site like YouTube, and that was just so painful. I'm not going to put anyone through that on the video. Basically here, for one or two small tasks, if you need to do the emulation, do it. Otherwise, really stick to using what's native for your processor, and stick to it that way. I'm going to keep Firefox quit. And yeah, thanks for watching the video. Just wanted to show it is possible to run different platforms on Silicon, but it's not necessarily going to have the best performance. As always, appreciate it, and thanks for watching.